I mean, obviously. What's up, chat? How's everybody doing? Chris said Memphis is folding. That is that's unfortunately what it's looking like right now. So
they're not folding. No, they're not. No, they're not. Dillon Brooks. Whenever you hear me, Tone, say get such and such off the floor, keep Dillon Brooks on the floor.
Keep him on the floor.
Keep Dillon Brooks on the floor.
Even with that, yeah. For the
Garbage.
Lakers' sake. What is this? He's like 1 of 10 right now, or something.
I stopped counting after it was he was 1 for 7.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I stopped counting after 1 for 7. I was out after that.
What do you do with somebody like Dillon Brooks, Jay, who's creating? He could be the reason that they lose the series, and I'm not going to put it on the way he's like sparking conversation with Bron or none of that. That's fine with me, but the offensive liability, like, don't take those shots, right? Do you think that's going to be the end of them, or it counts him out?
Well, I don't think that there's a could be. He's a huge reason why they're going to lose this series. A huge reason why. Offensively, he's given them no production. Defensively, he's been a liability because he stays in foul trouble. And add all that up to the fact that if you're going to talk like that, you have to produce something. If you're going to talk like...
no one asked me. I would love Dillon Brooks to be on the court. He's 2 of 11, by the way.
Of course.
Yeah, of course you do.
I want Lofton on the court. I want anybody. Let me see who else. Konkar is 0 for 1. I love him. Tyus Jones is 1 for 4. Let's keep him on the court. Let's get all these guys that are missing shots. Let's put them all on the court.
Keep them all on the floor. Keep all of them on the floor.
Just for one more. Just for one more.
Which I told you before, Tone, that this series shouldn't even went back to Memphis. It should have already been over. They shouldn't even gone back to Memphis. So,
people are probably sitting here going, "What's up with this? This looks weird." I just, me. I want to shout out ESPN Chill. When celebrities go and ask you for a photo, I was saying that's pretty cool.
Got a celebrity on our show every week. This is a sick photo, though. So explain to everybody, Jay. This is not Jimmy's last game, but it's the one prior, right?
Yes, it was game 3. Mm-hmm. Okay. It was game 3. And just so you know, you might think that I'm short. Just so you know, Just so you guys know, Richard Jefferson is 6'8". He's not a small dude. I want to make sure we could. He is 6'8".
That's crazy. I didn't realize.
Yes, he is.
I didn't know that.
Yes, he is. He's 6'8". So just so you guys know, it might look like I'm a small dude. That's because I'm standing up next to a dude that's 6'8". So I mean, he's listed as 6'7", but he was. I'm looking at this dude like he might be 6'8", because he's definitely bigger than 6'6" or 6'7". Yes.
Well, we see definitely that guy on the platform right behind you, and he's he's like 5'10", maybe.
On that dude, that's not nice.
The way that this materialized, I don't
know. Just FYI for anyone who doesn't know, that's Dub, right in behind the picture.
So the way that this whole thing materialized, I was at the game and I ended up hitting him to let him know, hey, I'm at the game. I'm in section. Bah, 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 bah. He saw me, like this was during a timeout. He saw me, and I just did that. And he was like, and then he hit me with the, yo, after the game, come down. And I went down and said, what's up? And you got the whole security and all of that sort of stuff. And I wasn't gonna make I was just standing there. He was like, him, let him through. He good. And was, yo, what up, brother? What's going on? I was like, what's up, brother? Hey, man, I'm in the house. I'm here. I'm here. And he was telling we just got to chatting for a little bit, and we got to talking for a little bit, and it was dope. This is a dope dude, man. Dope dude. Yeah. I dig him. I really dig him, no doubt.
I do want to give Richard Jefferson a little bit of love for something that he did that, because of Instagram, no fault of mine, because of Instagram's nonsense, we didn't get to enjoy. But for our 100th episode, RJ did send us hey, congratulations, Fluent Chill, Hailey, for your 100th episode. He did the whole wonderful thing. But he probably didn't know this, and I didn't know this. But IG is like, it's disappearing messages. So you watch the video once, and then it's gone, and you can't watch it again. So thank you, RJ, for doing that. I'm the only one who got to see it, but it was very nice. It was very nice.
I'm sure it was so nice. Thank you, RJ. Jay, why didn't you ever go pro or try, or did you?
I played in Europe a little bit. I did.
You
I
did.
played in Europe. I played the second half of my college basketball career. I played at Utah State. I went to the wrong school. Ultimately, I never sat on the bench anywhere that I played, from grammar school, high school, and junior college. Never sat on the bench anywhere. I get to college. I played at Utah State, and I was averaging about 8-10 minutes a game. I couldn't get off the bench, and the worst part about playing there was it
That
made
was
me
in
look.
Utah?
No, it wasn't even the fact that it was in Utah. It
There's
was
that.
the fact that he made me look like I couldn't play. That was the worst part about it. It wasn't even. It wasn't even about my lack of production. It was about, can this dude even play basketball? And that just wasn't the case. I was a lot better than that. Was I a first round pick? I don't know. Was I an all league performer? I don't know about that. I definitely was better than the seventh man on a fourth place team in a mid-major league. I was better than that, 100%. So
They just
that was
never.
that was the story. That was it.
Everybody knows this. Everyone who's played knows this. It's not just about your talent or your skill set, right? It's your drive, your determination, and unfortunately, the system you go to, the coach that you have, sometimes it's just luck of the draw. Like, I wasn't as good as Jay in high school. However, heck, I wasn't even. There was guys in my high school probably. I hope I'm not being too humble when I say it. Like, I thought were way better than me.
Yeah.
But and I mentioned University of Kentucky a lot, but I got to spend my summers at the University of Kentucky, and I had guys like his old high school teammate Roderick Rhodes, Tony Delk, Rex Shepard show me how to do certain things. Shoot, and that's where people saw me. It's different. Like when you play certain places, and you play like 2 hours. You practice 5 days a week, but it's 2 hours a day. It's different to when I was there for summer camp, we wake up at 7. We start shooting at 7:30, and we'd be playing until 8 o'clock that night. And all you do was live and breathe, and play basketball. So scouts were there, and you playing that much, and you got pro athletes and D1 like Tony friggin' Delk, bro, like showing you how to do things. You do them better. So the scouts see like, oh, that's the potential of this. I don't think I get anything if it's not for the University of Kentucky, and that's why I hold them in such high regard. Right. And so, but if I'm not there, I'm a kid in Canada. No one's seeing me play, right? It's not like now where there's social media and you can do all this stuff. Like, we didn't have I hate to say this, we didn't have the internet. We didn't have the damn internet.
None of that stuff was going on, man.
No one's going to see you. No one's flying up to the suburb of Toronto where my damn parents moved me to. No one's going to see that. So that's the thing. And that's why I understand Jay's plight, because it's like, man, you go to this, you make the wrong choice, not knowing. And, and there's a lot of players like that. Like, you talk to Shaq and Dell and those guys who are playing in Europe, they'll tell you there's a lot of guys who could play in the league. Whatever, there's certain circumstances that there's not a big difference between, look, and I'm not talking about the stars. I'm not talking about Kevin Durant and LeBron James and Luka. I'm talking about the guys that are, coming off the bench, fighting for minutes. There's not a big drop off between some of those guys and the guys playing in Europe. Like, I think one of their guys, Quincy Acey. I remember Quincy Acey. Quincy Acey played a minute up here in Toronto, and you got to see him kind of practice and play. That dude could play. Like, he has a spot in the league, but due to circumstance, he's playing somewhere else now. So those are just the things I think it's important we point out.
Just to give you an idea, H, going into my junior year of college, that was the same summer that Coach Hurley at Arizona State, he was recovering from a car accident, and he and I were playing it was a league called the Jersey Shore League, and in the summertime, and I was probably in the best shape of my life at that point. Right, I'm ready to go. I just got a scholarship to play at a Division I school. I just ran in the backcourt with a pro. We were in the championship game of this summer league, which was a pretty big time summer league, right? So I'm ready to going to Utah, and we got games where I'm not playing. We got games where I'm playing 5 minutes, and I'm thinking to myself, this wasn't what I saw over the summer.
Right. It's totally different.
Yeah. This was not what I saw over the summer. I saw something completely different over the summer. So
like, I feel like a coach should recognize if there's a major shift in a player's game. Maybe that's you not getting enough time, or not being pushed hard enough. But I always think, like, I didn't play professionally or in college at all. I didn't go to college, so yeah, but I mean, I'm in
Probably
it now.
go to
But
Just say you're a college dropout. It sounds better.
It
I
does,
never
Joe.
went to college. I never went to college. Now I'm in it, but I just do like online. But
Right.
yeah, there's always those regrets of like I wish I'd pushed myself harder at this point in my career, at this point in my career. But we got to live with that and move forward and take opportunities. So all
It all
right.
happens the way it does. It all happens the way it does, though. It's not something
it's for a
that
reason.
you can look. Yeah, you can look back and go, "I wish I would have done it." It all happens the way it's supposed to happen. So
yeah, no, that's a really good point.
Yeah. It all happens the way it's supposed to happen. So
yeah,
I'm not going to bore you with any lovey-dovey stories about how it worked out the best for me, but
yeah, okay.
Right.
Go ahead.
Gloat a little. Okay, so yeah, I want to get into really quick. Okay, Miami. Whoa, I can't tell you. I had chills watching this game, watching this man Jimmy Butler go off, absolutely go off. Like I could just feel chills, and it was wild and it was beautiful. Jay, is this one of the greatest playoff performances we've ever seen, or is that taking it too far?
I don't know if it's taking it too far because of the modern era. If you think about great playoff performances, James in 2013, I mean, in 2012 in the Boston Garden, Isaiah Thomas in the finals in '88. You've had a bunch of different great playoff James or Steph Curry last year in the finals in Game 5. You've had a bunch of different great playoff performances. That playoff performance from Jimmy Butler, I just remember watching it with my jaw drop, thinking to myself, this is I was speechless because I hadn't seen anybody, with the exception of 2019. That was the last time I saw Giannis shrink. I don't think he wanted anything to do with Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler exudes confidence. Jimmy Butler's game is not going to blow you away. He's not ridiculously athletic. He's not ridiculously skilled with the basketball. Like, he doesn't have an array of moves. But Jimmy's confidence surpasses everybody else. He steps on the floor, and the logic is, I'm better than every last one of you out here, and there's nothing that you can do about it. And that's what it looked like against Giannis. This is my court. We're not losing tonight, and there's nothing that you can do about it. That Milwaukee team had a legit shot to win. And then it turned into it should have turned into a Bird versus Dominique, Curry versus James kind of battle. Only except it was just one-sided. It was completely one-sided, and it was something that I hadn't seen in a long time. I was blown away. I loved every minute of that. Every minute of it. It was awesome.
Yeah, what that game gave me is like, it's one of those games where you're like, I hope this can happen. I hope they can pull out a win. I hope they can, but it's not possible. It's not likely. Right. It's just not going to happen. And then when he makes that 3, and then he makes another 3, and the crowd just absolutely roaring. It was wow. It was one of the best playoff performances I've ever seen. But Fluent, what did you think about the Bucks? Are they in danger now? I mean, obviously they are in danger. No one thought this was a possibility. Yeah.
I know who thought it was a possibility. His dad, the owner of the Charlotte Hornets, thought it was a possibility. Man, for those that want to make that narrative, boy, did that game make you go like, maybe there's some truth to this. No,
Tone, before you go any further, you can't convince me that that's not legit. Until I see a DNA test, you can't convince me that them two dudes are not related.
Especially if it's not just physically. Look at what he just did. Like that, not many players can do that, and both of them, like that was the same MJ look. So
until I get a DNA test, until I get a DNA test, you can't convince me that that's not true. I'm
Jay,
convinced
do you think would that be the best storyline, like the best plot of the NBA ever?
Well,
a long-lost son who, as an absolute baller. What if they go to win the championship?
To be honest with you, though, H, it would explain a lot. I will tell you that. It would explain a lot. It would explain a lot with this dude. It wouldn't be something where it would just be if this got confirmed, it would be like, okay, all right, it makes sense. All right, I wouldn't be like, what?
Yeah.
That's his thought. No, it'd be like, okay, I understand. I see where I see what this is about now.
Yeah.
This doesn't. I understand. I get it.
He just took a DNA test. Turns out he's Jordan's son.
For real.
You know what's funny though? I got to tell you, we were talking about this earlier, and when the show was done, little Fluent Jr., aka Mini Mamba, was like, Jimmy Butler's not Jordan's son, right? And I go, why you say that? He goes, because Jordan's sons aren't good at basketball.
Well,
Jordan's kids aren't good at basketball. And I was like, I don't even know what to say about that one.
Yeah, because the one that is good,
his actual kids aren't like they went to college, but
yeah.
Well, his son Marcus wasn't bad. He played at Central Florida. He wasn't terrible. But you got to remember who we're comparing.
Jimmy Butler good.
Well, not only that, you got to remember who we're comparing him to. It's not like he's just the son of somebody else. We're comparing him to Jay, so that's kind of who. If he's not that good, like you kind of whack. Actually, he's not. He's just not that good. That's all that was. So
yeah. I mean, it would be wild if that was the case, but I just don't know looking forward. Like Jay and I, you both had the Bucks in the finals. I don't remember if you didn't. You have the Sixers, right?
No, I have the Sixers. I'm sticking with the Sixers.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
But I do like this. I was going to bring it up, but I'm just going to show it to you on my phone because I think this is actually really funny. This is Jimmy Butler.
Mm-hmm.
Not working on his game.
Man, I ain't finna be a pro. Like, I'm from Tomball. I'm a McDonald's All-American. I had to go to JUCO. I doubted myself. That's why it's funny whenever you hear people say, "Oh, I knew Jimmy was gonna be that." Stop fucking lying.
No, you didn't. You did not think I was gonna be that good. No, you did not.
No, he didn't even know.
So there's no way you thought I was gonna be that good. No.
He goes on, that's why I work so hard because I didn't expect to be here. So I think I've always said I love Jimmy Butler, and I don't think we give him enough credit for how good he is. And I fall victim to this too because I always say this, but then I fall back into not doing it is because we just forget about him sometimes. It's just because in the regular season he's just you know what I mean, and then just playoff time.
Which is kind of ironic though, Tone, because Jimmy, I think he's going to make the All-Pro team this year, which is going to be 5 times. Like we don't talk about all pros being like he's good. So we talking about a guy in Jimmy Butler who's been in the league since 2011. So this is year 12, I think now we're in. So we talking about a guy who is going to make the All-Pro team for the 5th time in 12 years. That's almost every other year. There's no other pro that we talk about that's an All-Pro every other year. We're like, well, he wasn't bad. No, but Jimmy Butler, who, and by the way, he's an all-league defender too. So when we talk about Jimmy Butler, it's well, I mean, he's awesome. He's good, but shouldn't he be better? Especially when we see him in the playoffs. It's like, well, wait a minute. Why aren't you this good all the time? Why aren't you at least close to this good all the time? Oh, except he is.
Are there 5 players playing better than Jimmy Butler right now?
In the playoffs?
Are there 5 players playing right now better than Jimmy Butler?
Book. That's as far as I'm going.
I don't think better. I would say as good as, just because of what Jimmy does on both ends of the floor. What does Devin do on the defensive end?
Let's be honest. Any names that you're going to think of, they got more help than Jimmy, right?
Yes, they do. Yes,
Absolutely.
they do. Yes. And remember the term playing better, not a better player, playing better.
Yeah.
Playing better.
There's a difference between being a better player and playing better, right? So when we talk about a guy playing better, maybe Book. That's as far as I'm going. KD, we can have a conversation, but it ain't a wash that KD is playing better than Jimmy Butler. I mean, I just saw this dude throw this crew on his back against the number 1 seed and go up 3-1. He put 56 on these guys. That's what it took to win. He put 56 on them.
I'm asking you guys 2 questions.
Okay.
How far? Well, first of all, when we start the next season, let's say the season ended today. No champ, because that'll change things. That'll be part 2 of the question. If the season ended today, going into next season right now, if the season ended right now, is Jimmy in your top 10? If he's not, how far does he have to go for you to say he's a top 10 player in the NBA to start the season?
Well, go ahead, H.
I would say absolutely. I like we talked about, he doesn't always step up in the regular season, or maybe he's just injured, or maybe he doesn't have the energy. But when he plays his heart out, he's definitely a top 10 player, I'd say. Yeah.
I said this before, and I still stand on the logic. I want you to take the name out. And we got a guy who 2 of the last 3 years took his team to the NBA Finals, took his team to Game 7 of the Conference Finals, and a shot away from going back to the Finals. He's been an All-NBA performer and an All-League defender. Is this how are we talking about this guy?
Why is it that we don't talk about him in the right light? Because it's Jimmy Butler. Is it because we've already learned the past narratives were fake, right? Oh, right. Jimmy's a cancer. He's bad for team. Mm-hmm. Well, Chicago shipped him off. Minnesota shipped him off. Philadelphia chose Tobias Harris over him. He gets to Miami, and all of a sudden, oops, I think those 3 teams made a mistake. I know for a fact Philly made a mistake.
Absolutely, they did.
And Philly knows they made a mistake too.
Yeah.
And Philly knows that they made a mistake too. In fact, it's Joel Embiid saying, quote, I wouldn't mind having that dude back. I wouldn't mind having that dude back on our team. He said that.
Yeah.
He said that. So.
Okay, so talk to me about what's the rest of the series going to look like? Or is Miami going to eliminate the number 1 seed?
I do not think this series is over, H. I don't. Okay. I do not think this series is over. I think that if you remember how good Jimmy Butler has been after he's basically emptied the tank, he's not been very good. And I'm worried that what you saw in Game 4, I think he might have emptied it. So I think the Bucks get Game 5 tonight. Come back to South Beach. I think that we're going to be in a dogfight. Come Friday. I think we're going to be in a dogfight come Friday, right? And if Milwaukee pulls this win out Friday, I'm not betting on Miami in Game 7 going back up to Milwaukee. If they're going to win this series, they got to do it either tonight or they got to do it Friday. Because going back up to Milwaukee for Game 7, I give them no shot.
Agreed.
0.
Agreed. If they let it go on that long,
Yes, I give them no chance in Game 7. Because the longer this series goes on, the more exposed their talent is going to be. The more exposed their talent is going to be, the less likely that talent is going to continue to step up.
I agree. I think we've seen this not just from Jimmy, from a lot of players where they have this big, 40, 50, 60-point game, and then the next night is like, what happened? It's so hard to, like, people see it happening more often, but it is so hard to drop 50 points in a playoff game. Like, isn't he the 4th or 5th highest single game with what he did the other night? Like, he's up there, right? It's Jordan 63, Baylor 61,
Donovan Mitchell 57,
and then it's Donovan his 56, right? So he's 4th.
Chamberlain 2.
Chamberlain.
I
don't talk about mythological people,
right?
So it's just like 4th, he's top 5 single game, but like it's
tied with Georgia.
That's how hard it is to do. Just think about it. Like when someone scores 60, you better respect that, because not only is it only 2 people who've scored 60 in a playoff game, they were 60 years apart.
Right.
Like they were there's 40 years, but whatever.
Right.
But that's so 56 is a rare occurrence. So I'm with you. I think unfortunately tonight it's gonna be a close one, but I think the Bucks, hey, if the Bucks lose tonight, that narrative is gonna spin. And on Giannis, it's going to spin. Like,
what does it do for his
hurry?
We actually I'm glad you brought that up, H, because we actually had this conversation earlier today. Okay. And I want to put something on your mind. So the Milwaukee Bucks get bounced in round 1, right? This Laker team goes to the NBA Finals and they win it. And Anthony Davis, he ain't the MVP, but he's playing like the MVP of the Finals. What kind of conversation are we having? I'll tell you what kind of conversation we having. The same one we was having in 2020, where Giannis and Anthony Davis, who's the better player?
Right.
Remember. Which, by the way, that's going to happen again if something like that happened, because this was a real conversation 3 years ago.
It was.
And Anthony Davis got hurt, and Giannis ultimately surpassed him. If we get to this, what I just mentioned, we're going to get right back to that. And now the conversation is going to be completely different because Anthony Davis got 2 NBA championships.
Mm.
Well, 1.5.
Yeah, they're down by like 20. Hey, what do you mean 1.5? What do you mean 1.5?
Come on, no.
You don't count the bubble as a
No,
full chip?
No,
H
I
does it.
absolutely not. In
The
fact,
reason
I
why
realized I forgot why I
Why
hated the
not?
Lakers, but that hatred is coming
Why
back.
not? Hold on. Why don't you count?
I
the
do.
bubble?
I'm
Because Golden
absolutely
State didn't win it. That's why. If Golden State won it in the bubble, she would have counted it.
No, true. No, I absolutely understand there are different struggles that came with that. In fact, it might be worth more in certain aspects. The fact that they were away from family, the fact that they, had to do certain
Every
things.
game was a road game.
Okay, I'm not getting into this.
No, you can't say something like that. And
Just
just
not letting you off the hook, H. Don't let her off the hook, Tom.
It was great.
Oh,
It was great. I don't want LeBron to have more rings than Steph by the time he retires.
I just gave her that KD ain't a superstar look. What? No, you got to explain this. I gotta clip it. So please tell me why the bubble ring is only
it
half.
does. I mean, I'm not obviously the decider of what rings are worth. I'm sure they're all worth the end, but if you lay all the rings in history, they're not all worth the same, are they?
Yes, they are. Absolutely.
Really?
How many rings does Tim Duncan have?
5 of them.
Are you sure it's not 4.5?
Nope, it's all 5.
One was in a shortened
But that's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm telling you. Some rings, you're telling me rings all matter the same.
Yes.
So a player, okay.
I think that they do it.
No,
Unfortunately.
No. Do it. Tell us why not.
I guess certain,
wait.
I'll even say, I'll use my words.
Okay, wait. How many rings does LeBron have?
4.
But no, because you just said that's a half ring in the bubble.
3.5 in my mind. But
hold on. But in 2012, it was a shortened strike season as well. So he only has 3.
That is true.
So because he has 2 halves. So he has 2 and 2 halves.
3.
Right?
We'll give him 3. Yeah. Okay,
I'm
telling you, like,
wait, I can give that lot.
For example, last season, you could say the Warriors ring, it was a little bit easier earned than possibly other rings because his players were injured. Like, you can have an easier path to the finals.
I have yet to hear David Stern get on the podium and say, "Congratulations, barely NBA champion." He did not say that.
I'm not saying in the grand scheme of things, like, of course all rings are worth the same, but I think if you look at the context of each championship win, some are probably a little bit harder than others. This. And I would say
Bron has 0.
No, you're just gonna take away all
one's
of his.
One's a shortened season, so that don't count. The other one, Ray Allen saved him, so that don't count. The other one, it wasn't really him winning so much as the Warriors choking a 3-1 lead out, so they lost it more than he won it. And then the bubble, he got 0. He's over.
Sorry, Bron. Sorry, LeBron. Look, Fluent. Look, I'm all for this narrative, Jay. I understand that we want to see the Lakers.
Ticket doesn't love you now. He's gonna love you after that one.
He's gonna love this.
What's up,
oh
Ticket?
my goodness, he's gonna love this.
I'm just gonna say this. I don't think that the Lakers are going to be able to make it to the finals. It's the same reason I said previously. It's because of AD. Honestly, LeBron might be able to make it through another whole series. It's AD that really worries me. But is that who we're going with? If the Bucks are
they're down about 25 right now.
Well, yeah, I still have Memphis in 7. I've said this from the get-go. That last game obviously was difficult. They were down 35. How much were they down in that first quarter?
35 to 9.
35 to 9, yeah. So that was disgusting, but and they're missing 2 of their bigs, so that's so difficult to see. Okay, so if the Bucks aren't making it, if they get eliminated tonight or Friday,
I never answered your question. Sorry, I never answered your question. So I think I agree. So I think Jimmy's gonna have a slow night tonight, and they have to win it in that game 6. They have to. Otherwise, it's Bucks in 7, which is still what I think. But if they're gonna win it, it has to be in game 6. Because I think if you remember on the panel on the chill, we're just going to rename the show. On the panel, I said Bucks in 7. So because I thought Miami would win game 6. So they won a different game than I expected. But there you go.
Okay, I see you. Okay, and then we also have to talk about Atlanta. What the heck? Trey did that very same thing, Quinn Snyder was able to kind of come out, trust him with that final shot. He wrote up. I don't know much about their previous coach. I don't know why they moved off of him, if it was because of Trey, if it was because of his coaching style. I don't really know what went on there, but I will say I do like Quinn Snyder a lot. I like this fit. I like that he was able to come in this late in the season and do what he's done. Obviously, Atlanta is not the most equipped team, but the fact that they're hanging in there still, and that he wrote that play up, trusted Trey came through, fulfilled that, like, just that feel good win, and making Boston work for it. They were asleep that game. I was so disappointed. And Jay, this is what I say about Tatum. I'm not blaming that loss on Tatum, but
I am.
Okay. Well, Jalen had a pretty good game, but
him too.
I'm disappointed, and this is what we see time and time again. Really, you should have wrapped it up.
You can't get that top 10 All NBA, MVP conversation and have games like this. You can't.
You just can't. I never felt like the Boston Celtics. They were up 13 with 6 minutes, and I never felt like they were in control of that game. I just never felt like at any point that they got this under control. When you are a number 2 seed and you got a 3-1 lead and you're in your building and you have a team in the chokehold, like they had Atlanta in the chokehold last night, they were supposed to bury them. Yeah. I've seen all-time great performances where I've seen, like I said, Dominique Wilkins and Bird step up to the challenge. I just watched Trae Young take over the game and nobody else accept the challenge. Jason Tatum had 0 points in the last 5 minutes. 1 rebound, no assist, no steals. He was completely and utterly ineffective. Right. Jaylen Brown took 1 shot in the last 5 minutes. They went on a 22-4 run. They got no stops. There was no commitment to stop this team and end this series, which is why I didn't feel like the Celtics were ever in control of that game. And when you have a series like this, we can't go 6-7 games with a team like this because we got bigger fish to fry, way bigger fish to fry. So if we're hanging around with the Atlanta Hawks 6-7 games, this is a problem moving forward, because what this is going to do is this is going to expose a lot more of our deficiencies. We don't want that. So we got to get rid of Atlanta as quickly and as quietly as possible. But now this thing has turned into a series. And as my grandmother would say, you want to fight? You got one.
So do you think Atlanta can push it to 7, win? Or is it going to be much ado about nothing when Boston win game 6 and move on?
Well, I don't think it's going to be much to do about nothing, Tone, because I think that Atlanta's going to give them their best shot. So I don't think that this is going to be a basically smoke job in Atlanta where they just go out there and destroy them and, all is well. No, I don't think that. And the reason why I don't feel like that is because for this series to go this far says a lot about Boston, their ability to close, right? Their ability to maintain leads. I understand that in the NBA, it's a game of runs and it's a matter of withstanding those runs. But when I think about this crew right here, you should not have this much trouble with a team that barely made the playoffs. You should not.
All I know for sure is that we're going to see Jaylen Brown in a Rockets uniform next season because
he misses Ime,
and I miss Ime too. I think we all do. We've talked about this before, that coaching was going to be an issue for them, and I didn't think it would be in the first round. I thought it would be, maybe the second or the Eastern Conference Finals if they make it that far. But
wait, you don't have Atlanta winning the series, do you?
No, I still think Boston's going to pull through, but I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, nothing at this point is going to surprise me. I'm all for the upsets. I'd love to see it, but I still think Boston will probably pull through. They have just so much more talent. That would be so beyond insane if they lose a series. I can't respect those guys again. I can't. There's no excuse for that. Unless somebody's injured. They have no injuries. Everybody's perfectly fine. They even have Rob Williams playing. What the heck?
Yeah. They have no excuses for this, so they better come out in game 6.
Just so you know, H, I know how you feel about Udoka, but $280 million says otherwise. So as much as you love Jaylen in a Houston uniform, $280 million is going to say otherwise.
Yeah, you're right. Where's he going? Do you think he'll stay?
He ain't going nowhere. He's going to put his name on that contract and he'll stay in Boston.
I feel like Boston is the type of organization that is going to move him. I feel like they're going to want to make a splash and say, hey, we tried the Jalen Tatum thing. It got us to the NBA Finals. Again, it depends where they go this year. Okay, like I don't think they're going to lose to Atlanta. I don't think Atlanta comes back and win. But if they're like a second round exit, like you always say, they're going backwards. They're going backwards. So it's, hey, we didn't think, because don't forget, we're not that far away from the beginning of last season where we didn't think Tatum and Jalen could work. They then figured it out with the help of Ime, got to the NBA Finals, lost. Obviously, what happens with Udoka happens, and he's out. So now new coach comes in. If they get bounced in the second round, they might be thinking, hey, maybe even new coach again. And can we pair Tatum up with another player that we can? Because I think Jalen has a lot of value amongst the NBA. So I think they could get a pretty good haul.
Right.
Who do you think could pair with Tatum that might be a free agent or somebody that their contract might be ending? Can you think of anybody?
I'll tell you one guy. How about Jaylen Brown? He ain't going nowhere. How about that? I'm not interested in breaking up this unit, okay? I'm not. I got a 26-year-old star.
They should. I agree. They should.
And I got a franchise player. If you want to talk about all the rest of these people, no problem. But this, I'm not going to get this again. It's going to be very hard to duplicate this. So because I'm not going to be able to duplicate this, I'm holding on to this for as long as I possibly can. I'll figure out the other pieces. I am not moving off of these two guys. No way.
I would say that if they were to make moves, I wouldn't move Jaylen Brown either. Yeah. But they probably would look to pair him with like a big, right? A big.
Really?
Yeah. Like I don't think Cat's the right guy, but someone like that, like an offensive-minded big, because that's where the league is going. I think more realistic is they might try to look to do like get like another scoring guard, be it off the bench, or maybe Brogdon's good enough. I don't know. I just think maybe it's the Marcus Smart thing. Not that I don't like Marcus Smart, defensive-minded, point guard, etc. I feel like the league is going to, let's find as many scorers as we can get. They seem to put a very little value in defense. So I think they'll be like, hey, maybe let's get another scoring big or scoring, because what they've tried is Brown and Tatum with defensive-minded rebounding. Williams, who's hurt, I get it, more often than he's not. Defensive-minded point guard. Well, it got us to the NBA final, and like again, it depends on what happened. Second round exit. So maybe it's, hey, maybe we need to change that up a little bit. I personally think run it back, but you got to get a different coach. I don't like this coach.
Yeah, I actually really respect kind of their game plan. I love their defensive mindedness, and honestly, I think aren't they like one of the top 3 shooting teams in the league? Like they're either first or second, I thought, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's in the East, but yeah, I mean, I like what Boston has. Don't mess it up now. But we have to talk about obviously the Knicks. Congratulations to the New York Knicks. They are moving on to the second round. What happened to Donovan Mitchell?
I'm so mad at you, Jay. I am so mad at Jay because he had me convinced that the Cavs were a good team, and I went crazy in on them. The Cavs in 4. Too. The Knicks are horrible. The Cavs are going to smoke them. I believed in the Cavs. I gotta go. I'm gonna go see a therapist because I gotta get my head checked tomorrow. I have no excuse for saying the Cavs were gonna smoke.
Now wait a minute, Tone. Hold on.
I blame you.
Now wait a minute, Tone. We talking about a team that finished they went from the play-in tournament last year to a top 5 seed in a tougher conference this year. And everything that I thought that the Cavs were going to do to the Knicks did to the Cavs. Everything from basically beating up their front line to outworking them, to outplaying them. I think Josh Hart was the MVP of this series. As good as Jalen Brunson was, as good as Obi Toppin was, right? As good as RJ Barrett was. I think Josh Hart was the MVP of the series because he was the one extending plays. He was the one who slowed down Donovan Mitchell, which is what you and me had this conversation, Tone, about if you are what you say you are, if you're a perimeter defender and you're a lockdown guy, show it to us. He wasn't switching on screens. He was accepting that matchup. He was accepting that one-on-one matchup with Donovan Mitchell. He stayed in front of him. He made shots tough. He made Donovan Mitchell take tough shots and completely took him out of the series. They outworked it. They outworked the Cavs. They out-toughed the Cavs. They were a completely better team than the Cavs. And I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna go overboard with ridiculous Cavs fans and go, yo, we need to blow this thing up. You got kids. Mobley is 21 years old. Darius Garland is 22 years old. Jared Allen is 24 years old. You do need to upgrade at the small forward spot with Okoro. You do need to get a guy who can knock down an open shot. You do need to do that. But as far as blowing up this unit, please do not go overboard. You ran into a tougher veteran Knick team. That's it. That is all that is.
I'm just gonna say I'm gonna do a couple of things here real quick. One, I picked the Cavs. I picked the Cavs in like 4 or 5 games, so I take that L. That happens. Everyone. Anyone who says I never lose is lying. So I took that. But I do want to preface it by saying, yes, there are excuses. So what? You're gonna listen. One, I did say I thought they were a year away. And that's what I said about Boston, and they went to the NBA Finals. So I was like, "Hey, maybe I'm a good luck charm when I'd say people are a year away. They exceed expectations." So I did say that. You did convince me to go with that logic. I did not believe, and I'm still questioning Julius Randle in the playoffs. I didn't believe a Jalen Brunson led team, because that's who's the best player on that team could get out of the first round. I also have been making a pitch. For what is it now, J2, 3 years to James Dolan to become the GM of that team, and I need them to suck, or else I'm not going to get that chance.
Yes, you have been.
So, I did have an ulterior motive, but shout out to the Knicks, shout out to Brunson, Randall. Who knew Josh Hart was a rebounder, and RJ Barrett and all those dudes. Hey, you're off to the second round, and that's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like you always say, Fluent, the league is better when the Knicks are good, and it's been a hell of a long time since we've seen some good energy coming from New York. So I'm so excited. I really I love Julius Randle. I like the whole Knicks team. They're kind of like odds and ends, like oddballs, like guys you wouldn't expect to play well together, but somehow they just fit so beautifully. So I'm loving that. I was also wrong on the Cavs end as well. But moving over to the West. All right. So Timberwolves were eliminated. Not really surprised about it. I'm surprised they won that one game. It was great. They played another OT. But then we saw the Anthony Edwards incident where apparently he did hit a security guy with a chair on the way out. And now he's being criminally charged, 3rd degree. What was it? Assault.
I'm so sick of this nonsense.
Did you see the video?
Yeah, I saw the video. The
guy was barely grazed.
Yes, I mean, and I thought there was a blonde woman as well that the wind hit her as well as the chair. Now, you can't be throwing around chairs. Let me get that out of the way first, right? Come on, Ant. Like,
I can throw around chairs. I just can't hit people with them.
You can't. No, fine. You got to be careful where you throw it and when you throw it. Right. Okay, fair. No, because there was this dental hygienist in Toronto a couple of years back that threw a chair off her 20-foot balcony, 20th floor balcony. You got to you can't always throw chairs. So you can't throw chairs. But the whole it hit me. And now I'm going to sue. Like this whole culture of it drives me nuts. Like it's just, I saw her face. I saw her face, and it looked to me like payday. Like not I got hurt by a chair. It was a payday thing, which I hate that stuff. But you can't. That's why you can't be throwing it in a crowded spot. I like that he was upset. That actually makes me happy about the kind of player he is.
Mm-hmm. So break it down, Fluent. Why? Sum up why they lost that and place blame. Who really failed in that series? Because I'm sure we can name a few.
No one failed.
Really?
No one. Listen, Denver is and has been a significantly better team than Minnesota for the entire season. So when the better team is better, more talented, more consistent for the whole season, that's why I keep saying I hate the play-in as an example, because I don't like teams, and I don't know where Minnesota finished the season. Were they 7th, 8th? No. The Lakers were 7.
They were 8th, I think.
Were they 8th anyways?
Or they were the play in between OKC
or were they 9th?
The rules. They must have ended as 9th.
Minnesota was 9th.
Minnesota was 9th. See, there you go. They had no business being in the playoffs to begin with.
Wait,
so the fact even if they were 8, you know what? Even if they were 8th, it's fine. It's a 1 seed versus an 8 seed. This is what should happen. So I never liked, this. I never like Minnesota. I never liked the pairing of Cat and Gobert.
They were the 8th seed. They lost to the Lakers. Yeah, they were the 8th seed. They lost to the Lakers. So if the playoffs, so we didn't have to play in, they would have been the 8th seed. They would have played Denver in the first round anyway.
Expected from a,
they would have played Denver in the first round anyway. And they probably would have
40. They're 42 and 40, about 500 team. All right, so just above 500, losing to the best team with the 2-time reigning MVP.
Right.
I think 5 games that's what I'd expect. So I don't think they were outmatched. Now, there's some issues with Minnesota as a team. Again, going back to the beginning of the season. So, you're not going to get much out of
do you think Gobert was one of the worst decisions that they've ever made?
No, and yes. So, no, because, they tried to bring in a 5, a defensive-minded shot-blocking 5, so that they can move Cat to, a lot of people, including Jay, think is his natural position of the 4. And they thought, hey, Twin Towers, right? Cool.
Yeah.
What they gave up for him, I think, that was way too much. So I don't mind we went and got Gobert to do this, this front court of these two guys, which fine. Again, I don't agree with it, but I get the logic. But what they gave up from, yes, I think it's a mistake. They gave up too much.
And also, Tone and I go back and forth with this. I think about the draft picks and why they gave those draft picks up. The logic is that this thing is going to work. So they taking a chance that they're not really concerned with those draft picks because they're probably going to be a top 5 seed. So those draft picks are going to be 22,
28,
25. So we're not really that concerned with those draft picks, as opposed to we get to the end of the season and we're looking at not only being a play-in team, we might not make the playoffs. And now we're not only will we might not make the playoffs, we're going to lose that draft pick, which could possibly be a lottery pick. And that'll be the second time in 3 years that we did that. Because remember, we had to give up our lottery pick to the Golden State Warriors. That's how they got James Wiseman in the Wiggins trade. That's what we had to do there. But to trade for Rudy Gobert, it did make sense in the aspect that they needed to get tougher in the paint. They needed a better rebounder. They needed a better rim protector. They needed better paint presence. Now, did it work? Well, it would have worked if Cat would have played better, and Cat not playing or Cat being who Cat actually is. Tone and I already had this conversation.
Cat is Cat. Cat played like Cat.
Cat played like Cat plays. I don't know if you know this, H, but in Cat's career in the playoffs, he averages 6 points and 4 rebounds in the second half of games.
And 10 fouls.
That's it. 6 points and 4 rebounds in the second half. That game that went into overtime, which they should have lost because Joker goes to the strike and cashes both of those free throws, game's over. That game, he plays 19 of the 24 minutes of the second, not 19, I'm sorry, of the 28 minutes. He had 6 points and 4 rebounds in the second half, including the overtime. That was it. That's all you got from him. And I've said this countless times about Cat. Cat is a guy, when you look at his game and you watch him play just offensively, you're trying to figure out, why isn't this dude first team All-NBA? And then you watch him when the stakes get higher.
Yep.
When you watch him when the stakes get higher, you see what kind of player he actually is. And that's where the divide is. And the best example I can give you, and I said this to Tone, Cat is a guy, he's got a $750 million lottery ticket in his pocket and he won't cash it because he's scared. That's who he is.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's pretty disappointing to watch them, but not that we expected anything more from them. But I am excited for Anthony Edwards' future. I think that loss made him tougher. I think it's going to help him grow as a person, as a player. Unfortunately, it had to end with this situation, but hopefully he can work through that and deal with that. Okay, last series I want to touch on before we get into everything else is the Clippers and the Suns. Kawhi has a torn meniscus, and they didn't really say anything. I get why, you don't want to give the opponent extra information or extra hope or whatever that news could have done for them. But what were your thoughts overall, maybe on where Russ could head next season? Will they hang on to him? What do you do with the Kawhi situation? You guys probably saw JJ kind of go off today. And what are your thoughts on all of that surrounding the Clippers, Jay?
Number one, I don't think he's going to be around in 2 years because I don't think he's going to hold up. He's got 2 more years left on his contract, and I think that that's probably going to be the end, simply because it's getting progressively worse with his knees. So I don't think that this is something that's going to improve unless science comes up with something that we don't know about yet. This is something that I think this is something that's just going to continue to get worse, and he's not improving with this. With that also being said, this Clipper team has been a ridiculous failure, just like the Brooklyn Nets over the last 4 years.
Yeah, that's a good comparison.
We had them in the bubble in 1920, in the 1920 season. It was an epic collapse, blew a 3-1 lead. In the 2021 season, they go to the West Finals. Leonard blows up his knee. Last year, Leonard doesn't play, and they do not make the playoffs. This year, they get bounced in round 1. I love Russ on this unit. And the reason why I love Russ on this unit because he's what they need. He's that distributor. He's that playmaker. He's that scorer when he's on. Now, again, H, you got to remember that we're talking about a Russ who is going to throw the ball in the second row. He is going to do that.
Right.
He's going to shoot the ball off the top of the backboard. He is going to do that. He's going to do all of those things. But I think the fact that he plays hard, the fact that he still gives them really positive minutes, I think that he just earned himself an extension with the Clippers. However, Leonard and Paul George both being beat up and probably at the end of the line with these guys, I think I'm not saying that they're going to trade Kawhi Leonard because I'm not sure what kind of value he has. I think you probably get more back for Paul George than you would for Kawhi Leonard. But with that being said, I think it's the end of this group. I don't know how much longer they hold on to this group.
So we were talking about this on the panel, and I've been thinking about a lot about it since this afternoon. So I'm gonna go and say this. One, I love if the Clippers keep Russ, because he'll put up a bunch of stats and they won't win games, and they'll be out of our hair, and we might break that 0 for 11, 0 for 12, whatever that streak is that the Clippers have over the Lakers. But I think they move on from Russ, and here's why. I think they let Russ walk, because I think they're going to look to trade Paul George, and because he still has some value, and I think they look to trade Paul George, and then I think there's going to be a very long conversation with Kawhi and his people about the fact that if this can be a 6 to 8 week injury, this could be a 2-year injury, because I think someone told us today Lonzo Ball's been out 2 years with the same injury, and with his degenerative knees, if he retires, okay, so clarity from this afternoon, anyone that was watching, if he retires, he doesn't get any money, but if he retires due to injury, he gets all his money.
Yes,
so I think, and the team gets that salary cap space back. So I think that they're going to have a very long conversation with him about, if you can't play anymore, like, you need to start looking at what's best for you, because you could end up in a wheelchair, right? He's got a health condition that's making all these injuries worse. So if that is the case, if he is, going to be forced to retire due to injury, Brendan Roy had degenerative knees, didn't last, gone. So the fact that you got this much out of Kawhi's, take it, enjoy it, and say that, hey, you retire due to injury, keep your money. Paul George, we know that there's a team, right, that will, hey, if we can get Paul George for 60, 65 games and the playoffs, we're going to be really happy. So make that trade, bring in a bunch of young players, some draft picks, whatever, and then you got to let Russ move so that you can bring in those young guys. Again, this has nothing to do with Russ. Russ has earned himself another NBA contract, and good for him.
Yeah.
He has played well since moving to the Clippers.
Yeah.
So he'll get a contract somewhere. But I think as far as the Clippers are concerned, this is the time, because I think their new stadium as well, I don't know if they're in it next year or the year after.
2 years, I think.
2 years. So
I think so.
That's the beginning of the 24-25 season.
There you go. That's perfect timing.
Yeah.
To take all that draft capital, all this young talent that you can probably get, with the cap space from Russ, with the cap space from Kawhi, with the trade of Paul George, and now build up a team so we can be like, hey, new stadium, here's our new young, exciting team. So that's what I would do.
But that's what I'm saying, Tony. You being a businessman, is that what you're selling though? Because again, we're the Mets, we're the Islanders, we're the second team in Los Angeles.
Think of the alternative. Here's the alternative: we keep Paul George, we keep Kawhi Leonard, we sign Russ to Russ isn't young. We sign them. Kawhi doesn't play now for 2 more years or a year, and he's 50-50. Paul George stays hurt and doesn't play 50-50. Russ is Russ, right? Stats and losses. And now we play 2 years. We're paying these guys $100 million, $50 million. So $200 million is going to these 3 guys, right? Or $300 million going to these 3 guys. And at the end of the 2 years, when we open our new stadium, we got nothing to show for it but cap space. That would be even worse.
Russ is going to be 37 in 2 years.
There you go. You want a 37-year-old Russ, a broken down wheelchair Kawhi, and a hobbled
Paul
George rolling into your new stadium.
You don't want that.
At least you're accessible. Like there's what are you selling?
That's going to be hard. That's going to be a hard sell.
It's going to be a hard sell.
It's going to be a really hard sell.
Yeah. So.
And some
a lot of pressure on the GM, right, to bring in the right young pieces and use those draft picks correct. But
on top of that, I think it's also something to get behind. What I mean when I say that, Tone, is Los Angeles is a basketball town, and they do have a Clipper fan base. So if you show them a young unit, they'll get behind this unit. If you don't try to blow smoke that we're winning the NBA championship or we're going to the playoffs, as opposed to we got a young big guy that we're building this unit around. We got a young point guard that we're building this unit around. We just got our new building, as opposed to what the Knicks were doing years ago when we knew after the 3rd consecutive 50-loss season, we're making the playoffs this year. No, you're not. No, you are not. So knock it off.
Every big name free agent. Oh, we're getting LeBron.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
We're getting KD. No, you're not.
No, you're not. You're not.
I think Sacramento's in a good Sacramento. I think the Clippers are actually in a good situation. New stadium, so they'll kind of separate themselves a little bit from the Lakers. The Lakers are going to be the Lakers. They're going to, glitz and glam. We're going to sign the big free agents. Don't forget, look at this Clipper team. They're actually pretty good if you take away George, Kawhi, and Russ.
Yeah, they are really
pretty good like core, like that needs a superstar to get them over the hump. They're a good role player built team.
Maybe for like a year though. I think a lot of those guys, those guys aren't young.
No, I understand that, but what I'm saying is if you build that team, you got to get the years down. But if you build a team like that, that's hustle, can plays well together, and I really think this. I think the Clippers would have been better off not trading away pieces for Paul George, right? I think the Lakers would have been long term not trading away all those pieces for AD.
You got to remember too. You got to remember
longevity. I get why they did it. I understand.
Right. That's the point, Tone. I mean, we got to put it in context that at the time it sounded like a really good idea, considering what was going on. Now, remember, Tone, I still stand on the logic that Doc Rivers did not want to give up Shea. I don't think he did. I think he had to. Yeah, I think he had to, considering what was going on with Kawhi Leonard, who had just come off a championship team, right? Yeah. And him still I think he was only 27 or 28, something like that. And the fact that 27 and the fact that you get Paul George, who had just come off not too long ago an all-NBA season. So in the process of him coming off an all-NBA season, I get these 2 guys in the fold, and I got these guys for the next 4 years. We at minimum are going to the NBA Finals. Yeah. On some level, we're going to the NBA Finals, not realizing that Kawhi Leonard was breaking down way before this, and it's just going to get worse. And Paul George also was breaking down, shoulder surgery, that leg injury that he had. He was getting back into form, but he still was breaking down on some level. Because of that,
sorry,
and because of that, those 4 years just became a disaster. So this is where we are now.
I don't know if you have a game, a draft. I don't know what you got planned, Hailey. But can we do some super chats maybe?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, here we go.
Let's go. Double P, salute, Fluent, Chill, and Hailey. Hailey, what's the saying in Golden State strength and numbers? I like the Dubs to win tonight. Double P, I agree with you. Yeah.
Are you? That doesn't sound too convincing. Are you
I'm not gonna lie. When it comes to the road, like I do trust my guys, and I do think that coming off this 2 games is great momentum.
Right.
But the road scares me. It scares me. It's like they put something into the air. Like I heard the thing where they like turned off the AC because they know LeBron it was like. He would start cramping if it was too hot. Like, I feel like they put something in the air on the road all season. Every stadium, they pump something into the air that the Warriors are just like, they're like the opposite of who they are at home. And it's so difficult. And as much as I'm not on good terms with the Kings right now, they're a solid, great, awesome team. I really like Sacramento. And I think Golden State got exactly. Just not right now. No. And I know Deere say he has a little sprained or fractured index finger on his left hand. Right. But yeah, I'm going to roll with the Dubs, but I wouldn't put my house on it, I guess. What are you guys thinking?
I think that at some point, I think that at some point as a championship team, you have to win on the road. And these guys are battle tested. And in the process of them being battle tested, you got a wounded De'Aaron Fox, who, don't get me wrong, I think that he's got the heart of a lion and he's going to give it everything he has. That injury is going to affect him. No doubt about that. That injury is going to affect him. Add that to the fact that this isn't a typical road game, where we got to jump on a plane and fly 2-3 hours and sleep in a hotel. Sacramento to San Francisco is right down the road. Just jump on a bus. And I don't think that this is. I don't think that this is that much. I don't think this is that much of a road game. So
but it's like that stadium.
I know that sounds nuts, doesn't it, Tom?
What's a bus?
Like, what is that? What are you supposed to do with that? Are we supposed to get on this thing?
I know they got lucky in that aspect, but the Sacramento stadium is just like we talked about. It's insane. They really want this, as they should. And I am going to say, I think it's going to be Dubs in 6, but absolutely Dubs in 7. If they don't win this road game, they will win game 7.
And remember,
There's no doubt about it.
And remember, too, Tony and I already had this conversation earlier today. Winning game 1 and game 2 on your home floor isn't nearly as difficult as winning game 5 on your home floor when the series is tied. And you losing, now you face an elimination game. Well, the temperature just went through the roof.
FIFA boy, get out of here. Isn't he a Mavs fan? Like such a bandwagon. Everyone's a Kings fan all of a sudden. Sports PSP, sup y'all? 1-on-1, Ray Allen or Reggie Miller? Ooh.
Ray Allen.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people forget that Ray Allen wasn't just a long ball shooter. Early in Ray Allen's career, Ray Allen was a phenomenal one-on-one player. Yep. Phenomenal.
Could slash, could get to the basket, was a dunker.
Yes, he was phenomenal.
Okay. Angie Carr, Utah State, did you convert?
That's kind of that. It's funny that you mentioned that, Angie, because that's in the rotation of questions. Hey, Hailey, how you doing? Where you from? Are you Mormon?
Yeah,
that's what they ask. That's what it is when you live in Utah. That's part of the rotation. Yeah. So it's really that.
Came close, but okay, Double P. Last week for the episode 100, I asked Chill to recite every MVP. If it's easier, can you, off the dome, recall every NBA champ as far as you can go? Do you want to do this, Jay?
Didn't we already do that?
We already did.
I think we've done these.
Yeah, didn't we already do all the NBA champions?
We did all the NBA champions, and you did. There's a couple of
Yeah, we did. We have a video of that.
It got foggy at around 50. It got like 50, 55, 56, I think.
Double P, check out. We got it. Do you want to try? Do you want to try all the MVPs in order?
All the MVPs in order. So, let's see. This season, okay, we don't have an MVP this season. Joker won it last.
Joel Embiid.
We were going from this year.
Yeah.
So we don't know we don't know who the league MVP is this year. So last year Joker won it. Joker won it the year before that, the 19-20 season. Giannis won it the 18-19 season. Giannis 17-18, that would be James Harden. 16-17, that's Russ. 15-16, that's Steph Curry. 14-15, that's Steph Curry. 13-14, that's KD. 12-13 and 11-12, that's both James. 10-11, that's Derrick Rose. 9-10, that's James again. 08-09, that's James again. 07-08, that would be Bryant. 06-07, that's Dirk Nowitzki. 05-06, that's Steve Nash. 04-05, that's also Steve Nash. And then 04, that would be KG. 03, that would be Duncan. 02 is also Duncan. 01, that's Iverson. 2000 is Diesel. 99, that's Malone. 98, that's Jordan. 97, that's Malone. 96, that's Jordan. 95, that's David Robinson. 94, that's Olajuwon. 93, that's Barkley. 92, that's Jordan. 91, that's Jordan. 90, that's Magic. 89, that's Magic. 88, that's Jordan. 87, that's Magic. 86 is Bird. 85, Bird. 84, Bird. 83, hang on. 83, 1983 is, why am I getting 1983? Who won the league MVP in 1983? Who won the NBA championship in 1983? The Lakers won the NBA championship in 1983. Who won? Oh, that would be Moses Malone. He won it in 83. He also won it in 82. Doc won it in 81. Jabbar won it in 80. 79, that would be Moses Malone. 78 would be, let's see, 78. Who won the NBA championship in 78? Washington won the NBA championship in 78. I think Moses didn't win it in 78. I think Jabbar won it in 78. Bill Walton won it in 77.
Pause. 78 was Bill Walton.
Bill Walton won it in 77.
No, Bill Walton won it in 78. Kareem won it in 77. You had those two flip.
You were close.
Okay, so Jabbar won it in 77. Bill Walton won it in 78. Okay, so 76, that would be Jabbar again. 75, that's also Jabbar.
Different.
Hold on. Oh, I'm sorry. Bob McAdoo, only guy in NBA history to lead the league in scoring and not make the All-NBA team. Yeah, I know that's nuts. 74, 1974. That's Jabbar again.
Yep.
73, that would be let's see, who won it in 73? Because that was Chamberlain's last season. Who won it in 73? Who won the league MVP in 73? This is when it's getting tricky. Let's see. Who won it in 73? Don't tell me. Do not tell me.
Okay.
Don't tell me who won it in 73.
Okay.
In 1973, because Jabbar won it in 71. Let's see who won it in 73. It wasn't nobody from Boston. I'm stumped in 73.
It was someone from Boston.
It was. Oh, then it was Havlicek. He won it in 73.
Dave Cowens.
Dave Cowens won it in 73. Jabbar won it.
And then you were right, 70. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Jabbar won it in 72 and in 71. Let's see. In 70, that would be Willis Reed. In 69, that's Jabbar. No, that's not Jabbar. I'm sorry. That's Wes Unseld. In 68, let's see, 1968, that's Chamberlain. In 67, that's also Chamberlain. In 66, let's see, who won it in 66? Oh, that's Bill Russell in 66. No, not Bill Russell.
That was Chamberlain's three-peat.
Okay, so Chamberlain won it again in 66.
Yeah.
Okay. In 65, that's Bill Russell. In 64, Bill Russell. In 63,
Oscar in 64.
Oscar Robertson won it. I thought Oscar won it in 63. I'm sorry. So Oscar won it in 64. Bill Russell won it in 62. He also won it in 61.
Yep. And that's Bill Russell's three-peat, 61, 62, right. 63. Yep.
60. I think that's Bob Pettit. I want to say Bob Pettit won it in 60. No, Bob Pettit didn't win it in 60. Hold on. So rewind. It wasn't Jerry West. It wasn't Bob Cousy. Nope. Bob Cousy didn't win it. Bob Pettit didn't win it. Oh, I'm sorry. It was Chamberlain. He was a rookie. He won it. He won it. I'm sorry. Chamberlain won it in 60. 59, that was Bob Pettit. 58. Let's see. In 58, that was Bill Russell's second year.
Yep.
I think that was the Russ won it in 58. 57, that was Bob Pettit. And nope, not Bob Pettit in 57. Bob. Hold on. 57. Don't tell me. I think it was maybe Dolph Shays.
I said a different Bob.
Oh, Bob Cousy. I'm sorry. Bob Cousy in 57. 56. That's Bob Pettit.
That's the first one, Bob Pettit.
That's
Man,
bald petty.
you didn't get fuzzy until 75, and then still, I think you only got like 5 or 6 that you were fuzzy. That dude, that is. I just want for everybody in the chat, because people in the chat are like, he's got all these written down on the wall.
don't.
No,
He doesn't have them written down.
he does
I
not.
I do not.
That's pretty,
That's
man.
good.
The fact that you got to 77 before you like, that's crazy. Crazy.
And you knew some of them were just like flip flop, but that's crazy. I feel like I'm just gonna learn that just to have on the top of my head.
I need to find one thing.
I feel like I could.
I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the NBA champs, the runners up every year, or the defensive players. I don't know. I need to just one, and I just got to memorize it, and just we'll get a super chat from a random person.
Yeah, a super chat.
Can you name all these? I'll be like, let me try my best here. Because it's like that always impresses people. I'll give you like an example. I'm Greek, and a friend of mine who's Italian, who lives in LA, and I was there, and I don't know what, we were sitting around having some drinks, and I don't know why he brought this up. He goes, "How well do you know the Greek alphabet?" And I'm like, "I don't know, like anybody else, I guess, that speaks the language." Like, and he goes, "Can you do it backwards?" I'm like, "I can't do the English alphabet backwards." And he was like, "Watch this," and he did the whole alphabet forward and then backwards. The Greek one, he's not Greek. I go, "How the hell?" And he goes, It's they made us learn it like when to enter his frat, like during.
Oh, that's hilarious! Front
like,
and back.
That's the worst thing. I never would have gotten to that frat. No chance in hell.
I know the Greek alphabet by heart.
You do?
Alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta. That one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Iota, kappa, lambda, mu, nuke, C, omicron, pyro, sigma, tau, upsilon, phi, chi, Psi, omega, or something like that.
How the hell do you know that?
Eat it, Tone.
My school I actually took Greek for like 4 years, but I don't remember any of it.
You just did.
I know the alphabet.
You just said the alphabet faster than I could.
How about that, Tone?
I'll be like alpha V. Now I would say it I say it differently than you, because you say
I know
beta.
it's very Americanized.
I'm like alpha vita gamma delta epsilon zeta. Like I would say the actual Greek word. So I'm trying to translate what you said to But anyways, that's actually really impressive too. All right, super chat it is. Man, we got skills up on this show.
Oh, okay. Mello Williams. Yeah, check us out. All right. What do the guys like Dub and Mars disrespect? Oh, why do the guys like Dub and Mars disrespect DeMar DeRozan's game?
I think that's a question for Dub and Mars.
But I'll tell you, I think they don't respect, like, he's got an old school kind of game. He's got a very kind of 90s game to him. He plays like that dude that you hate at the YMCA. Like, he's just old man basketball.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, he didn't play great in the playoffs defensively early in his years in Toronto. So,
which, by the way, Tone, I'm glad you brought that up, because that's who James is turning into. James is turning into that old dude at the park. Like, you just can't stop him. Like, no matter what you do, you just can't stop this dude. Like, why is this dude still out here, still kicking our ass? What can we do to stop this dude? Nothing.
Well, apparently let him shoot threes, because
maybe
he's like 2 of 14 or something for the last 2
Why does he
games.
keep taking them?
He has to. They're open.
Yeah, that's part of it.
But then you always ask, why are you so open? Well, that's why you're so open.
That's probably why.
Yeah. Mavs fan 772. Starbench cut. Tatum, Butler, Booker. Currently,
if you think I'm gonna say Butler in front of Tatum, I'm not doing that. Just so you know, because that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to bait us into saying Butler in front of Tatum, and I'm not doing that. I'm not. No, I'm not.
I am. I'm going to start.
I am too.
I'm going to bench Tatum, and I'm going to
cut Book. That's exactly what I would do. Yeah. Jay,
what are you doing,
Jay? It's time. You have to open your mind.
It's time, Jay.
Accept the truth.
It's time. Tatum might have more talent.
We'll give him the post.
Tatum might be more talented. Tatum might be more skilled. But like you,
I'm going a step further than
production, defense, consistency. That stuff matters. That's your line.
I'm gonna take it a step further than that, Tone. I'm gonna go buckets. I'm gonna go Book, and I'm cutting Tatum.
Ooh.
Oh man!
Wow.
He could get back on the crew, but as of right now,
wow.
Get him out of here. I mean, currently, like as we speak, that makes sense. Yeah.
I never thought I would hear that from you. I'm so proud of you.
Oh, the Kings are scraping the Warriors. Sports PSP. Fluent. You packed A-Rod's bags?
Yes, I have. Folded everything up, rolled up his socks, folded his underwear, pressed all his shirts, put them in plastic so that they won't get wrinkled. Carried his bags out to the limo, put him on the plane, made sure that he got off in New York, took away all of his identification so that actually he can't leave again from New York and get any idea of going back to the NFC or Green Bay. Yes, we've completely.
Tone got him some Greek. He got him some. He got him some gyros too.
Also. Yeah, we got him some nice.
He's happy.
You got him some food too.
Delicious gyros from the best place I know in New York.
Take these with you, brother. You good, and your money is no longer good here. Don't come back.
Sure he doesn't get frisky and try to come back. Yeah,
don't come back. Do not come back.
Thank you. This is the first time. Check this out. This is the first time in 31 years that the Green Bay Packers won't go into a season with Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers going in.
That doesn't even make sense, Tone. Like, what are we talking about here? Like 30 plus years of Hall of Fame quarterbacks. Yeah. How lucky can you be?
Insane. And how many championships between? Exactly.
Dude, that's it. That's also a bit of a fail. That's
I mean, I guess that's not
that keeps me warm at night. It's 31 years of those two guys. You got two.
I'm sorry, not 4. What? 6? Rodgers got 3. Favre, so 6 league MVPs. And
doesn't Rodgers have 5?
Does he have 5 league MVPs? I know he won it last year. I know he won it the year before that.
I think he has 5.
He won it last year?
Yeah, he won it last year.
He won it in back-to-back seasons, as a matter of fact.
You might need to Googleize that. I think he has 5 though, but yeah,
so if it's 5, that's 8 league MVPs between the both of them. 8 league MVPs.
Oh, in case anyone's wondering, because you're like, why is Fluent and Chill on right now? It's this week only, where we're doing it on Wednesday. We're going to be back to Thursdays next week, but because tomorrow's the NFL draft, PC Gridiron, myself, Dub, Bama, J Rob. I don't even know who else is going to be, but you know the crew. We're going to be doing live coverage starting at 8 p.m. of the NFL draft, and I think Jay might even pop in for a little bit.
Maybe
you want to come pop in too? Why not? All right, next one.
Double P. What's next? Nate Thurmond is Bron's father. LOL.
Maybe.
No.
Maybe. Hey, have you seen Nate Thurmond?
Wait, we don't know.
Nate Thurmond was curling basketballs and he looked like that, bro. Like,
yeah.
We don't know Bron's dad, right?
No, we do not.
No, we do not. It could be Nate Thurmond.
Maybe it was
which is like a really good story too, because I remember James talking about his father and talking about how he had a conversation with his father about him staying away. Not because he hated him or anything like that, but it's probably in his best. It's probably best for the both of us. Which, in that particular, I get it. I do get it.
You know what? I think I might. I'm going to start posting more stuff on conspiracies. I got like a list of like 7 or 8 of them. Maybe that sports ones, basketball ones, actually specifically. I think that might be the next one. I'm going to start that one. Double P.
Are you going to start a rumor, Tone?
I'm going to start.
Nate Thurmond is LeBron James' father.
You can sell it too, Flint. You can sell that rumor.
Absolutely sell that. Absolutely, I'm in on that one.
All right. Bastion 772. It would explain that whole thing in Minnesota with Jimmy. Oh, well, he has MJ's mentality. Facts. Absolutely.
See?
Absolutely.
Telling you.
Angie Carr. If we're talking first round, D Rose up there too. Chill dropping 36 as a rook in first playoff game. Insert Mark Jackson. Mama, there goes that man.
Talking about first round. No.
I think they're talking about like playoff performances.
Best playoff performances.
Yeah.
No, not even on the list.
No, I don't think so.
Sorry, Angie.
Sorry, Angie.
I feel it was more the fact that Jimmy wasn't the franchise player on those teams. Once given the keys, he was able to show up and do what he's always been able to do.
Jimmy,
go ahead, Jay.
Jimmy is that
in Chicago?
No, he wasn't. He was not. He was the last pick in the first round. Derrick Rose was supposed to be the guy, and then he broke down. Then Jimmy started turning into that guy, and then they got Dwayne Wade, and then they got Rondo. So, but Jimmy is the guy who, you look at Jimmy as an organization. That's why it works in Miami, because he's quote unquote he's my kind of crazy. That's why he works.
Yeah. I lie. I like Jimmy.
Double P, as a Northeastern Ohio Cavs fan, I want Allen gone. I hope we can trade him for some depth at the 3 or the 4. Dude is softer than Franco Harris running out of bounds.
That's funny, yo. That is
Wait.
funny, Tom.
Honestly, this is a good point. I thought he was hurt. He looked like he was injured.
He was hurt earlier in the year, and right before the
He
playoffs.
looked terrible throughout, and he doesn't have the strength under the rim that they need. That's so crucial for them to do really anything. He just yeah. Neither does Gobert though. Okay. Hunter 3200. Chill Fluent Hailey, my Knicks won. We're going to the semifinals. Brunson is a star. Mitch Robertson. Top 10 center. Let's go.
There we go.
He's look good.
Tone, this is what I'm trying to tell you, Tone. You get with New York Knicks fans, right? And let me tell you who the New York Knicks fan is, Tone. The New York Knicks fan is the girl who just met a guy. She ain't been on a date in a long time. This is my husband. I'm marrying you. Okay, you just met the dude. Chill out. All right.
He opened the door for me, but he opened the door for me. You know, no one opens the doors for you.
Oh my God. Chill out. Yo, relax. Okay.
I'll put this one out there. If Mitch Robinson is a top 10 center, then Looney's a top 5 center in the league.
Absolutely.
There we go. Boom.
I'm definitely down to do that.
Oh, I thought he meant I thought he meant he's a top 10 center on the Knicks right now. Okay.
Which by the way, H Boogie is Looney to even say that.
Yeah, are you kidding me? Looney is one of the most underrated players in the league.
Looney.
I don't like this whole string of what we're seeing here. Next.
Here we go.
Why, Tone? Is it because it's thwarting your idea of getting a job? It's shutting your job down?
It's jealousy.
It's jealousy. It's two things. I was wrong, and I hate being wrong, but at least I can admit it. And two, because I have no shot at the job now. If they make it to the third round,
you're not getting it, Tone. Sorry.
I think they'll get. Do you think they'll wait? Okay, let's look at it this way. Who would they face?
I gotta find another team, and I don't want to go to Minnesota.
The Heat or the Bucks.
The Heat Milwaukee winner.
That's what I got to. They're not getting past.
Is there a warmer weather team that I can go be the GM for? Like, because I don't want to go to Minnesota.
No, you don't.
Is there a team that needs a GM? Is there another team as bad as
what's it like in Orlando?
No, Orlando's young and promising. They ain't bad. Damn it. Damn it.
That might be it.
Hey, Greatest, just so you know, Greatest, this is the second time you guys have won a playoff series in 20 plus years. Okay? Relax, fam.
Yeah.
Chill out. Okay? You didn't win the NBA championship. This is the second time you won a playoff series in over 20 years.
If that's the case, shout out to Uncle Billy. Uncle Billy made it famous today for being the best Toronto Maple Leafs fan ever in the history of the world. He's gone viral here in Toronto, at least, or in Canada, for doing like something crazy in the stands, Uncle Billy. And shout out to my friend Devo Brown, who's on breakfast television in Toronto, who's thanked me on air for giving him Uncle Billy's phone number so they can get him on the show. So you're welcome. You shout me out, I shout you out. Thanks, Devo. All right, here we go. Next one.
Alan R. Ham just cost the Lakers a game. I'm sick. I'm not gonna say that. Never mind.
Okay, I have to, even though it's not a super chat, but I got to do this one.
Oh, would you?
Do you think I could take over the Cavs?
I think they're doing all right.
Oh no, Chicago. See all these cold weather. Chicago, Cleveland.
But that's why they need you.
I need warm weather.
Nobody wants to go.
But you want to go play? You want to go handle the Knicks? What are you talking about, Tom?
But that's New York. That's the Mecca of basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Jerry Reinsdorf is the worst owner in the NBA by far. No development, staff, and shooting. Coach is crazy. Will not be surprised if there are riots in Chicago.
Did you know that, Tom? They don't have a shooting coach on their staff in Chicago.
That's insane.
Oh, that makes sense.
It does make sense.
That explains a lot.
Yeah. Why?
He is so Reinsdorf is so cheap.
Oh, just doesn't want to pay for it. Okay.
But does that even make any sense?
No.
Like we in school, we don't have any English classes in school.
That doesn't make
sense. We don't have any English classes in the school.
It's debilitating, especially the way the league is today. Come on.
Maybe. What about Portland? That's not as cold. Because
it's freezing in the Pacific Northwest, Tone. You know what the Pacific Northwest is?
Not compared to where he lives, though.
To Minnesota.
No.
Where do you think Minnesota is? It's also in the Northwest.
What about Dallas?
I think Mark Cuban.
Because they need help.
You're not going to get any of your idea. You're going to go crazy. You would never get listened to. Your ideas would just be put in the pile.
San Antonio.
I don't know, man. Pop might be interested in letting
You know
get
what?
that job.
Oh my God, this is a brilliant. Brian Townsend, beautiful Clippers. I can go rebuild the Clippers.
After everything you said about them, don't think they don't hear you. They don't want nothing to do with you, Tone.
I love LA.
No, they don't
it's
want nothing
too
to do
late.
with you.
Too
No,
late.
we want nothing to do with you.
Oh, wait, there we go. Jordan's gonna call. There we go. The goat's gonna call me up.
But here's the difference, though,
Isn't
Tone. You
he
got to do
gone?
every. Well, not only that, not only is he gone, yeah, he is going to sell the team, which means that you won't have to do everything he says.
Yeah, perfect.
Double P, the issue is everything offensively is on DJ and Donovan Mitchell's shoulders. No relief anywhere on the roster. Can't win with a 6-man rotation.
And why do you think that is? Because this is the same Cavs team who last season, before you got Donovan Mitchell, you were actually pretty good offensively. You weren't terrible, right? But then you get Donovan Mitchell on the crew, who's a great offensive player, and he's got these kids running with him. They expect him to do it because they're kids. That's what happened. So in order for this to materialize, you can't just dump everybody, Double P. What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to develop these kids. How do you develop these kids? Get them back in the lab and get their confidence up. Get that. Remember, Darius Garland did make the All-Star team last year. Jared Allen made the All-Star team last year. You got to get these kids' confidence back up.
Would you say Donovan Mitchell is the best player on the Cavs?
Yes.
I think that might be the problem because they were a really good defensive team. That's kind of was their calling card, right? And they go, hey, if we could get some scoring, we would be a force. So they go out and get Donovan Mitchell.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what happens sometimes? Teams take on the personality, the persona of their best player. I think that's, I don't know, maybe that happened. Maybe that's the only thing I can explain it because this should be a good defensive team with a scorer in Mitchell. I'm surprised.
I think it is, but I think it's exactly what we said prior is that this team is a year or two away. I think they still need more time to mesh, and they're still young. But and like Jay said, they're still a piece away, maybe. But they've got potential. Goku Williams, 23, float and go home to Lakers or Cavs.
I like it. Go on, I guess.
Cavs did have the best defense in the league this year too, by the way.
You need to do it in the playoffs.
Did something happen to Steph? Did you see his face? Why did he look like that?
Because he's going to lose. That's why.
Oh, Justin DW. Flew say Knicks to the finals. Randall hurt. And please, can we stop ignoring the 21 Knicks team? They were awful and overachieved. He was the only offense.
They were.
The Knicks, I'm going to say it. I'll say it, but I'm going to add a different punctuation at the end of it. The Knicks to the finals? Like, they're going to get through... What, the Cavs? You know what? Maybe because they got the Heat. They could beat the Heat. And then who would they play that? Probably Philly.
They played the Philly-Boston winner because Boston's going to beat Atlanta. I think they are.
Yeah,
but they play the Philly-Boston winner.
I think Philly might beat Boston this season. I don't know, but either could come out. Yeah, but no way the Knicks are getting past that. But I would love to see it. Don't get me wrong. Dico, believe Hailey got the stubs. Yeah, we'll see. If Steph's hurt though, I don't know.
Hurt.
He just looked like he looked bad.
I'm flipping back and forth between the Sac game and the Milwaukee game.
I don't think he's hurt, but I scrolled back a little and he just looks. I mean, he's in that zone, but he looks like really, really angry at something. Maybe he has a few fouls. Mason Jones, if Bron gets his 5th chip and Finals MVP, where would you rank it out of all his chips?
I don't think it's ahead of the Cleveland one. I don't think it's ahead of any of those Miami ones.
If the Lakers win the chip this year, it's the best job he's ever done, and it's the most important, best one he's ever had.
Over 2016, Tone?
It's the best one next, and then second would be the bubble. Any ring that goes to the Lakers is obviously the best rings that he could have in his career.
It makes sense because you're a Laker fan. You're a front runner. You can't forget that.
I'm not a front runner.
This is what we got. This is what we got to deal with, H. This is what we got to put up with.
I can't do.
Yes. This is what we got to do. Yes, H. This is what we got. Whenever we got to deal with the Lakers, this is Tone.
This is why I don't like.
Okay. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Hold on. Let's be honest. Hold on. Let's all jokes aside. If he goes and wins an NBA and he's the MVP, don't forget they said. So if he goes to the NBA Finals this year and wins it, as a 7 seed, a team that was in 13th place with like 5 minutes left in the season, and they somehow worked their way up to the 7th seed and won. That is by far his biggest achievement.
They were 2-10 at one point.
They were 2-10 at one point.
And he would be tied with Jabbar as the oldest Finals MVP in NBA history at 38 years old.
His team and his best teammate is one broken down Terry Cloth. That means he's very soft, Anthony Davis, and nothing else. All those other rings, he had better supporting cast, a better record, a better team, like a better everything.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, this would be the most impressive ring, and not just because it's with the Lakers. All jokes aside. Plus, he's 137 years old.
I thought he was 89, Tone. I thought he was 89.
I exaggerated a bit to make a point, but my point is he's also a lot older. So for him again to be the Finals MVP means he played out, right? Like, because most of it, we think if we're having this dream of the Lakers winning a championship, it's going to be because AD plays like out of his mind, not how he's playing now.
Is it an overachievement, Tone,
to win an NBA championship? 1,000%. 1,000%.
And the reason why I'm asking you that is because as a Laker fan, you're the same one who told me, quote, "We're not satisfied with one."
We're not satisfied with one. We're not satisfied. Absolutely. We expect to win a championship every single year.
Right. So would it be an overachievement?
But as an NBA person, that it would be an overachievement for a 7th seed to win it, considering the year that they've had. And I've said this to you before. I wasn't joking. If LeBron James can lead this team to an NBA championship and win Finals MVP, my top 2 changes.
Okay. I think that's understandable.
H, hold on, H. Did you hear what he just said? I think that went right over your head.
Oh, I didn't. Yes, I thought you meant like your ring order. Oh,
no.
Oh,
yeah.
My top 2 changes.
Whoa.
Which puts me in such a bad predicament because
I can't believe that you would say that. That's blasphemous.
I want the Lakers to win. I want the Lakers to win, but I'm like, but we got to have AD as the Finals MVP.
It could actually happen. Like, this might happen. We might have to entertain this conversation.
I can't do that. Hell no.
Christ, why did Ham take LeBron out to play Lonnie? I saw that. Not sure.
Why did he take LeBron out to play Lonnie?
Yeah.
To get Lonnie some minutes. I thought that was watching that. I don't think that the Lakers at any point were really in this game. I just didn't think that
they came in. It looks better, like when you see the final score and you see kind of there's a point where they were 13 back again after being down 35.
No,
they just went on their run and
right.
whatever.
No.
Ox, I will not say his name.
Say it, Tone. Say it.
What happens? Not until it happens.
Double P got another 3 versus 3 street rules. Mark Price, Luka Doncic, Moses Malone versus John Stockton, Scottie Pippen, and Jokic.
The second team.
Definitely the second one, yeah.
Definitely. And I'm a big Moses Malone fan, but the second team, yes.
Yeah.
I know you guys.
Street ball game?
In the street ball game.
Nah, I'm going with the first one.
Hold on, Tone. Now, before you go with the first one, remember who we talking about? John Stockton here.
I think
from Gonzaga, dirty work guy.
He's scrappy. He's strong. He looks. I know all that stuff. Right. He's a better defender than you think.
Right.
But I think Luka and Moses. More so Moses. I Stockton fine. I don't know. I know that Scotty's not that tough. I know that you can get into Scotty's head. I know that if Scotty has a headache, he's not going to play. So
what about Luka? If he gets tapped at all, he's going to cry about it.
He's not as bad as Pippen. Jokic. He's like Luka. He's a little doughy.
But so he's a wall.
I'm putting my money on Moses being, in my opinion, the toughest SOB out of those 6.
Do you remember who Joker is? He's from Serbia.
I know.
Okay, I want to make sure we clear on that, Tom.
I still got Moses.
Knows his secrets.
You're not going to Serbia for vacation. Okay,
but he's
clear on that.
You don't even want to.
Right.
Reggie Reg, thoughts on the NBA naming the finals championship runner-up trophy after LeBron James? What's up, Hailey?
Unfortunately, Reggie Reg, I know you're trolling with that question because I've heard it before. Unfortunately,
the epitome of a troll.
Unfortunately, you've got guys like Baylor and West who lost more than he has. So
it's James though, right? It's James.
Yeah, I'm never. You know how much I love Elgin Baylor, so I'm never gonna.
Right.
No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going
to. We got a dude that went to the NBA Finals 9 times and only won once, but it's the runner-up trophy.
And he's
James.
the logo. And he's the logo.
And he's the logo up. But James is the runner-up trophy. Troll alert. That's what we're gonna start calling Reggie. Troll alert.
Forget him being 1 out of 9. How about Elgin Baylor going 7 times and never winning one?
0 for 7. How about that? Break. Troll alert. Whenever I see him, that's what I'm gonna call him. Troll.
Troll alert. Okay. OG has all his facts written on his hand. No.
I don't.
No.
Jay, you think I got a cheat sheet over here? I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, like on his arm.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't.
You know, I did see some wrestling fans. I did see John Cena once call out The Rock when they were doing a face-to-face in the ring because The Rock had his promo written on his forearm so he could read it.
Cheating.
Is that you, Jay? Is that you, Jay?
That's smart.
It's not.
Okay, Angie Card. Chill had basketball reference on his screen when he was reciting the MVPs. I saw the glare in his eyes.
Should have ran it right. Shouldn't I have ran it right off? Right? Shouldn't I have ran all of them off?
You're a good actor. They say.
If that's the case,
you're smart. You're smart because I remember. I won't say his name. Lance used to cheat off my paper in high school, and I always used to tell him. Remember those Scantrons? I don't know if they still have those.
Oh, I remember Scantrons.
Where it's like you read the question, it's like the answers are A, B, C, D, and then you have to like circle in okay. So I was like, dude, like copy mine, that's fine, but just remember, get a couple wrong, because if we get the exact same, like they're gonna know, right? And I gotta tell you, the funniest thing, I know you hate my stories, but this one's fast. The funniest thing ever happened.
Stories are good.
This one time he messed up. So he started like with my second answer. And
so all the following,
all of them were one off.
Yeah.
So like what I had for number 2, he put for number 1, and then all the way down, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna say any names. Christina went and told Miss Ford that he had cheated off my paper. We got in trouble.
We got a snitch in the house, Tom.
Yeah,
we got a snitch. You mup. What?
Yeah,
you mup. Oh my.
Yeah. So here's where it gets funny though. So Miss Ford pulls us out and going to give us all heck. And then I'm like, can I just ask a question? She's like, what? What did we get? And she kind of looked at me and she goes, I go, did you mark the test? She goes, well, this came to light first. And I said, well, why don't you tell us what we got? And of course I got an A because it was law class and I love law class. And he failed miserably because he was off by 1, right? And I'm like, so you're telling me I got a 92 and he got a 37? Then he's not a very good cheater.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
And the teacher said, "I'm very sorry."
You bailed him out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He bailed himself out for failing.
Unbelievable.
There you go.
Unbelievable.
But yeah, man. Ooh-wee. I don't know where that was what brought that up. But thank you for reminding me that because that was awesome.
Oh wow! Thank you so much for the super chat. NYSec, appreciate you. Why do people accept Lakers, LeBron's fans act like the Bubbles ring was like everybody or everyone else struggled during that time, but the Lakers were on vacation.
Like they was just chilling in the bubble. Everybody else was just having a difficult time, but the Lakers, they had their feet up, they're on vacation, they got their families. No.
Well, I'll say
up for them too.
Because I can always make a case for both sides, right? So
yeah.
Everybody had the same thing. So everybody was in the same hotels, playing on the same court, playing with big screens in front of them instead of fans, and all that stuff and everybody else had no travel as well.
Can't leave.
I think where the other side comes from is that, well, there's certain teams that weren't there. Now, granted, they probably didn't have a chance to make it into the playoffs, but they weren't there, so they didn't have to go up against all these, all the superstars the whole time.
Right.
They did have a break in between, and you have 2 players who, not so much LeBron, but LeBron a little bit getting the rest, and AD having recovery time, coming in healthy for a very short period of time,
right,
and not having to travel and getting some more rest. So they feel like they had more of the advantage. So I think that's where that narrative comes from. Again, I don't believe it, but I think that's where it comes from.
Yeah. Fair. Double P, decision time at the label, and you have to drop one of these artists: Black Thought, Snoop Dogg, or Ice Cube. Who's getting dropped?
I'm gonna tell you who I'm not dropping. I'm not dropping Cube, and I'm not dropping Black Thought. So Snoop gotta go.
See you, Snoop. And I love Snoop, but see you, Snoop.
Yep. Sorry.
Okay. Bye, Snoop. Rocker Austin, Bubba G Cuts.
I'm taking Ric Flair. Finally, The Rock has come back. No, I'm going with Steve Austin. What? Steve Austin. What? Steve Austin. What? Steve Austin.
I don't know, man.
I'm 16 said I just kicked her. Sorry. I miss wrestling. Sorry, go ahead. I'm gonna go on PC wrestling one day. Go ahead, Jay. Who you got? Rock or Austin?
I'm definitely going with Steve Austin. Steve Austin looked like the type of dude that, like, if you could walk into a bar with him and nobody will bother you.
And I love his new show. I love his podcast. Have you seen his podcast?
No, I haven't.
Podcast.
Oh, it's good. You need to watch. He's got a couple of seasons. Yeah, he's good. I like it a lot.
All right. Zero, just vibing. I follow the Warriors, but imagine Knicks Kings finals.
Knicks and the
Nah,
Kings in the finals.
I'm good.
I think I'm good too. I think I'm gonna pass
Knicks
on that.
Kings?
Oh my God. I can tell you what the NBA of all the things that the NBA wants, I can tell you what they don't want. They don't want the Knicks and the Kings in the finals.
No, they definitely want the Lakers or
Adam Silver might come out and you know, remember how when David Stern said it's great when the Lakers are in the NBA final, like before they made it to the final.
Yeah.
Yeah. Adam Silver would be like, you know what? We're gonna do a redo of the Eastern and Western Conference finals. Sorry, Ox.
Nobody wants to see that. I'm so sorry. But love both teams.
Yeah, sure.
Blah Bakerson. 2 questions. If the Sixers can't get over the hump this year, who should they trade and what should they do with the roster? Think Tatum is a top 5 player? I say no.
I don't think Tatum is a top 5 player. I think he's right outside the top 5. And
yeah.
You got a franchise player in Joel Embiid. I can tell you what you're not doing. You're not moving off of Joel Embiid. So you got to figure out what you're going to do with James Harden. What are you going to do with Maxey? Because I think you already extended him. So what are you going to do with these 2 guys? And PJ Tucker may come off your books. But sometimes, Tone, unfortunately, you just ain't good enough. And I hate to say that, but there's just times when you're just not good enough. And that's just the way it is.
Yeah, if the Sixers can't get over the hump this year, it's I don't know, time to offer Tobias Harris, Maxey, and some picks and try to get Jimmy Butler back. I don't know what they do because I've already said the process failed last year. So imagine if they still can't get over the hump again this year. Like that's why I'm picking them. Like they have to do it this year. They have to.
Or at least get close.
At least make the finals.
No. Don't let them off the hook. They have to.
They're not going to win the finals.
They have to.
You think they got to win the NBA championship?
No, they have to make it to the finals.
Okay, so they got to at least get to the
NBA
finals.
I'm good with that.
They have to make it to the NBA finals this year.
Yeah.
Have to.
And I hope they will. Nas fan 772. Fox finger is not broken. Not buying it. Fractured, and I think we'll see it maybe start to wear on him a little later in the game.
Yeah.
But right now you're right. You can't tell it all. He looks great as always.
He broke it in the last game, and you saw what happened in the last game. You're right. So
that was so strange. There's been some shady stuff, but I still love Mike Brown. All right. Is that the last one?
No. A couple more.
Okay, Rolo 555, greatest free throw shooter of all time.
That's easy. It's Rick Barry.
Steph Curry.
Is it? It's not.
It's Steph.
No way.
Steph's the best shooter of all time. From 3, from mid, from free. He is the best shooter of all time from everywhere. Period.
He's a dang good free throw shooter. That's
Rick
for sure.
Barry with the underhand cash. Believe he made 94% of his shots.
89.3 career
yeah,
free throw shooting percentage.
Rick Barry,
89.3. The
Steph's
leader all time, Steph, 90.87.
Yeah, it
Next
was
up,
over
Steve
90.
Nash,
Steve Nash.
90.43,
Steve.
and Mark Price
Mark Price.
in
Yep.
third, 90.39. I
Mhm.
for sure listen, and yes, I looked it up on Basketball Reference. I'm not afraid to say I use.
Unashamed.
No, listen, I've told everybody I use Basketball Reference. Absolutely, I use Basketball Reference. I use StatMuse. I use my eyes. I use anything I can find so that I can get as much information as possible so that I'm not just looking at one thing, because if I get tunnel vision, then shame on me.
Yeah.
So, there's this, I forget the name of the show, but these guys that are like big LeBron James fans, LeBron James Kingdom something, and they're always asking, what's your criteria? I'm like, everything. What do you mean everything? I'm like, stats, advanced stats, eye test, analytics, your opinion, his opinion, her opinion, like literally every piece of information I can get, I bring it in. And if I find new information or there's a new thing that comes out, I add that in too. And that's why it's so hard to say, like this, what's the reason you believe this? There's the laundry list of 30,000 things. So anyhow.
That's how you should.
My internet.
Double P. Back in the day, which was the hotter track, Rock the Mic or Flava in Your Ear?
Flavor in your ear.
Flavor in your ear. Want to hear your answers.
You are so from Arizona. That's all.
All I have to say about this
I don't know.
I screwed up the tape deck in my car because I played Flavor in Your Ear so much. I wrecked the tape deck in my car.
I'm kicking new flavor in your ear. Time for brand new flavor in your ear.
I screwed up the tape deck in my car because I played that song so much.
What's the tape deck?
Right.
Hey, my first car had one.
Mm-hmm.
Alex Pickering.
My first car had an 8-track. Continue.
Damn.
Continue.
Alex Pickering, another hilarious chill quote is a bucket of extra crispy and a 6-pack.
That's what we got for him. That's what we got for him. A bucket of extra crispy and a 6-pack.
I'm gonna have one of those tomorrow, maybe.
Me too. Hydro 924. If the Bucks, Grizz, Kings, and now Cavs all lose in the first round, will it be the first time a 1, 2, 3, and 4 seed all did in the same year?
I'm 1,000% gonna say yes, even though I don't know for sure.
I feel like that. That's a great question.
So you figure, Tone, the first time it ever happened was in '94 when Seattle lost to Denver. They lost in the first round. So Houston won the NBA championship. They were the number 2 seed in the Western Conference. Okay, so that's out. And in '94, the 2 seed, which would be the let's see,
I thought the 8.
In '94, I want to make sure that I understand this correct. The Knicks were the number 1 seed. And I want to say the Bulls were the number 2 seed. They didn't get bounced in round 2. They didn't get bounced in round 1. Okay, so that's out. Now you fast forward to 1999 when you had another number 1 seed lose, which was the Heat. They lost in round 1. And then in let's see, who was the number 2 seed that year in '99 in the Eastern Conference? Indiana. They ended up playing them in the East Finals, so that they didn't lose. And the same thing was going on in the Western Conference. The number 2 seed didn't lose in the first round. And then you had another number 1 seed lose. That was the San Antonio Spurs in 2010-11. They lost in the first round. I think, let's see. Chicago and Miami were the number 1 and the number 2 seeds in the East that year, so they didn't lose.
It's
no.
Yes, sorry. The answer is yes. It will be the first time. Absolutely.
Yes, correct.
Okay. George Foreman or Mike Tyson? Mike Tyson.
I'm gonna go with Big George.
They're coming out with a show or a documentary, right? Yeah,
I can't wait to watch that. That's gonna be good. I'm gonna go again. I'm gonna go Mike Tyson. I'm gonna go Mike Tyson as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. Been a man's ear.
Twice.
Double P. Fun fact: Barry helped improve Wilt's free throw percentage for a season.
Best free throw percentage he had that one year when he shot underhand. So you know that was in the '62 season.
Yeah, sometimes bad free throw shooters, all they really need to do is listen to someone, right, Jay?
It does work, you know, when you take somebody else's advice. It don't always have to be your way. Like,
yeah, don't be so damn stubborn, Shaq.
Other people know what they're talking about.
Lance Stevenson is needed in these playoffs.
No, he isn't. No, he is not.
Is
No,
Lance
he-
Stevenson still in the league? No, is he?
He was in China last I
No way. He's not in the league. Is
no,
he?
last I remember, he was in China.
J-Rock. What's up, OG? Have you heard Shaq's new rap?
And it's dope too. Yes, it is
I
dope.
haven't heard it.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
dope.
Have you seen the video?
Yeah.
He's driving the big rig, or he's pretending to drive the big rig. What's up with those wife beaters? Something to put on a damn shirt.
Yeah, he does rock those regularly.
It was really funny actually, because someone, I think it was Mrs. Fluent, was like, "What's up with Shaq?" The first time he came on,
Yeah.
why is he wearing a wife beater? And I was like, listen, he just got out of surgery, like.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna judge
That's
the
not
man.
nothing new, Tone. We would go out to places he would have that on.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
we would go out to places that he would have on a white being like.
Oh,
I
man.
don't think we're allowed to say that term anymore, but oh well, we're old.
So we're not. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Ugh, the world. Put it on vinyl. What were your reactions to Skills 30?
Skiles,
Scott
Skiles,
Skiles.
Orlando Magic, 30 assists in one
Yeah,
game.
that was
Still the
pretty
record.
impressive. Yeah, still impressive. Was really
I
impressive.
didn't,
Yes,
you know me. I didn't believe it.
of course you didn't. Mm-hmm.
I was like, no way, someone made a mistake.
Mythical.
Mm-hmm. 30 dimes in a game. That's nuts, yo.
We have 10 minutes left. I don't know if you know this, but I threw the link in the chat because why not? So do you want to do that, or do you want to do something else?
If we cut it off at 8, just because JD's
Yes,
gonna
100%.
say
Yes,
something.
100%.
But yeah,
All right.
let's get a couple people on.
There's a couple people on that I know, so I'm not worried they're going to do anything crazy. So True Hero, what's up?
Hello.
Yo, that's all I'm gonna say, man. Chill. You were saying you got the Celtics winning, things like that. I don't know if y'all saw, but DeJounte Murray made a post. He was saying God was the devil, be back in the A. And I think him getting suspended, he's more motivated. And I ain't go front. When he shoved the ref, I think he shoved it. He's like, oh man, we lost. It was like, all right, I think it's over. So Trae Young holding it down, I think Murray gonna come out more aggressive and more willing to play. And by the way, we're in Atlanta.
So
Hot Atlanta.
You still not. What you mean so?
So they still losing. They still losing.
All right.
But
Well,
in 6 or 7, can they push it out one more?
This series should have been over.
Nah, chill right. They do
honest
got
with you.
bigger fish to fry. And
Yeah, this series should have been
Philly,
over.
but they here playing around and things like that. But chill. I don't think he win in Atlanta, man.
You think this thing going 7? You think this thing going 7? I don't.
Yeah.
I think this thing is over tomorrow night.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Come back on and tell us if you can.
Just know when they win, Ticket gonna do it for me. He gonna be Atlanta renting and Jason Tatum clowning. So, and if Giannis lose as number 1 seed, he's getting hate all summer long.
Hell yeah, I agree with that part. I
That's
agree.
What do you mean all summer long? This is an arrest record. This does not get expunged. This does not get expunged.
Oh, you
brother.
saying for the rest of his career? Oh yeah.
This does not get expunged. We're not going to not be talking about this in 10 years. It's not going to be like, yo, he did this, he did that. It's going to be, oh, you remember when he was the number 1 seed? They were favored to win the NBA championship and they lost him for the first round.
For that super chat you had when they were saying Fox looks like his finger not broken. What makes me wonder? Tyler Hero can play. Tyler Hero can definitely play.
All right,
he could definitely help the Bucks right now.
I don't know about that.
He could help the Bucks with a broken hand.
I mean, whoa.
Right. Absolutely right. All right, True. We got a couple more people come on. Thanks, brother.
All right, good talking to y'all.
Bye.
I have to say, Jay, I did something, and unfortunately, she was unable to make it. So now, after the fact that it's not going to happen, I'm going to let you know I did invite Sarah Spain to jump on. It was supposed to be a surprise, but she couldn't make it. So,
I thought you meant right now.
I was about to say, Tone, come on, man. You gotta at least let me get
the link. I sent the link and everything.
End call.
I wouldn't have been able to.
All right, Brian Townsend, what's up?
Hey, how you guys doing? Salute.
What's up, brother?
Hey,
what up?
How y'all guys doing? Real quick, I just want to say, given how Memphis is playing, this is what I would do. I would trade Ja for baby Howard, and then after I trade him, build around Bane, because Bane is the only one that seems to be promising. Also, go New York, go New York, go. I would have loved to have you as my manager there, buddy. Y'all have a go. I just wanted to ask y'all about trading Ja. see if that was a good thing. I know you pressed for time, but thank you for having me on. You guys are good. Love listening to you. All right.
Thanks,
All
brother.
right, thanks, Ryan.
Bye.
Bye.
That's the perfect. That's exactly what I want from everybody.
That was beautiful.
perfect.
In,
Exactly.
out, straight to the point.
Hunter's in his car.
All right.
What up?
What up?
What up?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. First off, what's up? I just want to say, let's go Knicks. Second
jeez.
round again. Let's go. I almost lost my voice earlier. I was screaming. I was so happy. I just want to say,
Did you,
I really
did you
did.
go
I
to
really
the
did.
game?
True story.
Are
Did
you
you
leaving
go to the game?
What happened?
Are you leaving the game? Are you in the parking lot right now?
Oh no, I'm on break at work.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I'm on break.
that's better.
I was just curious. I'm one of the very rare realistic Knicks fans. I actually picked the Cavs in 7 before the series started, but
Good for you.
I know we're not making conference finals or finals, nothing like that. I'm just curious, what do you guys think we can do to improve this team? Because I have no idea where we go from here. I have no idea.
I think you got a damn good team, but Julius Randle rolling that ankle again, that's going to be a problem moving forward in the playoffs. You might lose him. I think that holding on to Josh Hart, I think that's a good thing. Obi Toppin, I'm not a huge Obi Toppin fan, but I think he's a great rotation player for you guys. I think that the team you got right now, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Nope. I don't hate it.
I'll ask this question because I know that it might be unrealistic, so that's why I'm going to ask it. Do you think there's a player that they could upgrade by trading away if they have to, RJ Barrett or Julius Randle? Has Julius Randle earned his way that maybe they can trade him for an upgrade, Julius Randle, and a piece for someone better?
Well, they had an opportunity to do that last summer.
And they get a superstar.
They had an opportunity to do that last summer, and they passed on Donovan Mitchell. All they had to do was give up RJ Barrett, and they passed on him.
Happy we didn't do that.
That is
That was
true.
great.
They passed on.
Yeah.
They passed on Donovan Mitchell for RJ Barrett.
So for them to get better, it's going to be role players. Then it's going to be like.
To be honest with you, I just think I'm looking at their roster tone, and I don't think that there's much that's needed to be upgraded because if you look at that crew,
Are they a championship team?
I think. Okay, how about this for an idea? And I know this sounds ridiculous.
Okay.
If Miami gets past Milwaukee, the Knicks are looking at Miami like they a bucket of extra crispy. The Knicks are looking at Miami like we can beat these dudes. We can definitely beat them. Now the Eastern Conference Championship. Now the Eastern Conference Championship, when you're going up against whether it's Philly or Boston, and we already know the story. Joel Embiid has told us this the countless times. This is not a rivalry. They kick our ass every time we play them. So if the Knicks have to see the Boston Celtics in the East Finals, considering that they'll probably be playing really good at that point, I don't love Boston in that series. I'm not saying I don't love them in that series.
Do you think this is a team that can make it to the NBA? Like if things, as always, the ball bounces in their favor, they can
at minimum, Tone. I'm looking at the next. Let's say, for the sake of argument, that Miami gets past Milwaukee. The Knicks looking at Miami like we could definitely beat them.
We can beat them.
We can definitely beat them. That's how they looking at.
You know what I'm saying? I'm saying goodbye to Hunter because if the Knicks make the NBA final, if the Knicks listen, you got to hear this. Then I know that there's a conspiracy.
Thank you. Richard Robinson, top 200 in the NBA. Let's go.
Let's go. All right, Hunter. Go back to work, man. Don't get fired.
Yeah.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
Last up. Thank you, Hunter. Last up, Sebastian. What's up?
Hello.
What up, brother?
I'm multitasking right now. Oh no, I'm multitasking between the Kings and Warriors game and you guys.
I gotta tell you, I love to be listening and
They're
watching.
killing me right now, man.
I love it.
They're killing me.
So I had a question. Which series has shocked you most? The Bucks Heat series or the Cavs Knicks series?
Ooh.
Bucks for I think Miami for me only because of that last game. Once you kind of saw the Knicks pull ahead, I think it was I think they just showed that they're the much better team. But when it comes to the Bucks, you have to understand like Giannis is out. What would it have looked like if he was healthy? You know. So when we talk about this changing his legacy, we gotta admit like he was out for those 3 games. So yeah, but I'm loving the Miami Bucks series. I don't know what the score is right now, but hopefully.
Well, we're all gonna go watch it in 1 minute.
I was gonna say, yeah.
The biggest shock for me is the Knicks because, like I said, I had the Cavs winning, and I had the Cavs winning pretty easily. I had the Bucks winning, but I had them winning in like 6 against the Heat. Like I thought it would be a series.
Me too. Me too.
So yeah, I gotta keep it. I gotta keep it a buck. I gotta keep it consistent and say it's the Knicks because not only did I have them losing, I had them losing pretty quick. So like,
and Giannis looked really good against Miami last game. It wasn't like he was hindered or anything.
He on his way to 40 tonight. Just so you guys know.
40.
What's the score?
They up 10 at the half.
Oh, that's not that bad. That was what? That was fourth quarter, like last game.
He only missed one shot. I think he's got 20 and 6 rebounds at the half.
Oh so that might be game over. That might be game over.
I got it 69-63. Do I have the wrong score?
Oh.
So they're up 6. I'm sorry, not 10. They're up 6.
They're faster in Canada. Yeah.
Who's showing up for Miami?
Buckets.
Is it Bucket again?
Yeah, 6 of 12. 1 for 4 from 3, but 16 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists.
That guy is.
I haven't peeped the score at all. Let me guess their second leading scorer. I'm gonna say Strus. Just
no.
Is it Kyle Lowry?
Nope.
Damn.
It's Kevin Love.
No, it's not.
Who is it?
Oh.
Gabe Vincent. 16.
Vincent and Martin have been like firecrackers for that team.
Jimmy Butler are 16 and 16. They're going head to head.
Let's go. All right, Dubs are tied at 50. Sebastian.
All right,
awesome.
We got to be up at halftime. But yeah,
30 seconds left. Anything else, Sebastian? Before we say bye.
Last words. Final words.
What do you guys think? Who's coming out of the West?
Dubs.
Lakers.
Warriors.
The Lakers
say Warriors or Suns. I'm gonna say Suns or Warriors.
Okay.
How about you, Joe?
Dubs. Until somebody drop them, they're the team to beat in the West. So,
all right, guys, thank you so
much.
Y'all.
Yes, sir.
Just because I don't want to be Ron, we did get one more.
Oh,
greatest.
Chill. Are you Uncle Jerome's son?
I am not.
You're not.
I am not.
And as Dr. O'Neill's cousin and Fluent's main man, do you feel that same disdain for Penny? He was lacking heart.
No, he was not lacking heart. Penny was definitely with the drama. That is not true. He just started breaking down. That's not true, yo.
Are you the only one that likes Penny between me, you, and Shaq? You don't have to answer that as well.
Please. Don't put me on the spot right there.
Go there.
No, we're not.
All right,
not doing that.
Don't do that. All right, y'all. Have a great rest of your night. Thanks for joining in. NFL draft tomorrow night, so make sure to go check that out as well with all the guys.
PC Gridiron. This is where we're gonna be at.
Block live. Jay's coming. Hailey might come. No. Maybe I'll get Sarah Spain to come.
No. On our show. Anyways, we're gonna But appreciate y'all. Thank you all for your super chats. And as always, Jay.
Take it light, but take it.